knitting velvet pumpkin softies. Hi, I'm Kristen and welcome to Studio Knit. Enjoy decorating your home in these touchably soft velvet pumpkins that you can knit up, and they look great all throughout the holiday season. Using the same pattern, you can knit up different sizes of your choice. In today's example, I'll be knitting up this cute little mini pumpkin size. And if you like this project and would like to see more of what I do here at Studio Knit, please make sure you subscribe. And if everybody can like up this video, it will really help me out. For our materials, we are starting out with yarn. I'm using Bernat Velvet yarn. It's a bulky weight yarn. Feel free to use any yarn of your choice. Size 7 knitting needles. You'll definitely want double pointed needles, and we are knitting flat on straight needles. And of course, scissors and a tapestry needle. Now for your needles, if you're knitting a mini smaller size, then just regular straight needles will do. If you'd like to make the larger size, we are knitting it flat, but circular needles help you knit a longer piece. And of course, you'll want some sort of stuffing. I am using just some basic polyfill. I have an Amazon shop that lists out everything that I'm using in this video. I'll have that linked down below if you'd like to check it out. For our knitting pattern, everything is available over on my website, totally for free. And if you would like a printable PDF pattern that you can download, that is available to everybody on my Studio Knit mailing list. Our gauge swatch is created with 14 stitches across and 20 rows up using our materials in the stockinette stitch pattern. And I want to point out that the knitting needles are sized down smaller than the yarn suggests because we want to knit up a really tight weave. To begin, we create our beloved slip knot, and we are going to be casting on 6 stitches. Now it's 6 stitches no matter what size pumpkin you choose to knit up. And here's a close-up of the pattern. We're beginning with an increase section. So those 6 little stitches, we're going to be increasing it row by row. Our increase section is KFB, that's knit front and back. So you knit your first stitch, but we are not taking it off of our needle. We're actually coming back around after we knit in the front. We knit into the back to increase from 1 stitch to 2. So right here we have 2 stitches on our needle. Let's do that again closer up. We knit into the front. Now we don't take it off of our needle. We come around to the back, knit again into the back, and we have increased, and we do that on every single stitch. So now we have 12 stitches on our needle, and all of the even rows are going to be just a straight purl stitch all the way down the row. Of course, this is all written out for you in detail on my website and in that PDF download. I just want to sort of give you an overview of a few little items so that you can see exactly how they are knit up. Let's look at one more increase row. So row 3, you'll see an asterisk, little star, and KFB. So we are knitting front and back again. This is an increase stitch where we're going from 1 stitch to 2. So that's the KFB. And the next is K1. That just means knitting 1 stitch. And then there's another asterisk, and this means that you're repeating in between those asterisks. So you'll do KFB again. We're knitting into the front, and then we're going around to the back to create that increase stitch. And then we just finish up with 1 little knit stitch. And there are increase rows going all the way down within the pattern, and then you'll be jumping to the stockinette stitch section, say that 3 times fast, depending on how big you're making your pumpkin. So for my little mini pumpkin here, all of my increase rows are completed, and you'll see that it's taking a nice little rounded shape already. Here's the front of our work, the right side of our work. It's nice and rounded. It has some great dimension to it. If I flip it over, you'll see on the wrong side on the back the little concaved bit, and let's just place it down. And next is the stockinette stitch section, and that's really simple. That is just knitting the first row and purling the next. So since we are doing our mini pumpkin, we're just knitting 4 rows of the stockinette stitch pattern. So that means we are doing 4 rows. So that's row 1, 2, 3, and 4, knitting all, purling all, knitting all, and purling all, just straight stockinette. And now it's time to decrease already. And the decrease instructions in our pattern are based on the size of the pumpkin. So we are doing a mini, so that means we are jumping to row 13 and then knitting from 13 all the way down. So let me show you what these decreases are. It's K2 together. So instead of knitting 1 stitch, you knit 2 together, and that decreases it from 2 to 1 stitch. And then we are knitting just 4 regular stitches. And let's do that one more time. We are knitting 2 stitches together to decrease, and then knitting 4. And we are just going to follow along according to the pattern. Let's do one more here. This is row 15. We are knitting 2 together, and then we're knitting 3 stitches, and then we repeat in between the asterisks again with that knit 2 together until we get to the very end and we have 6 stitches on our needle, just like we did when we began. Get a little bit of a yarn tail and you will cut your yarn, weave it through that tapestry needle, and just weave it through your stitches. We don't have to bind off on this one. That's fun. So we're just sort of cinching up, and then we are going to fold our pumpkin with the right sides touching. So on the outside is the wrong side, and we are going to just simply tack our edges together about 3/4 of the way all the way across. And now with this little opening here, we will just turn our work right side out. So that nice pretty stockinette, that smooth surface is what everybody sees. And we take our stuffing and just lightly stuff your pumpkin ball. It turns into this really pretty ball. You can actually make knitted ornaments. Stop right here and then go ahead, finish up seaming it, cinch it together, and I am going to cheat. You could weave in your ends. I am just going to knot it a couple times right here and cut off these yarn tails. Now next you'll want to get a nice long piece of yarn, and I'm going to double it up because I'm pulling really tightly on the yarn, and this velvet yarn is delicate if you pull on it too tightly. I'm putting the 2 ends through my tapestry needle, and then I am going to go ahead and put it right there through the center, and I have the little loop there. I'm going to take my needle, and not through the exact same hole but a different one, I'm going to take it back down through my little pumpkin ball and cinch it up nice and tightly. Just threading it through that loop helps keep it secure. And from here, we do what I'm calling pumpkin wedging. And that is just wrapping the yarn around the perimeter of your pumpkin and cinching it up. I'm going to make 6 little wedges on mine. You can make as many or as few as you would like. And when you're done, you can either weave in your ends, tie them off, whatever you'd like to do, and cut your yarn. Now we're going to make our little pumpkin stem doing an I-cord. If I-cord is new to you, I'll sort of give you an overview. I have a great I-cord video that I will link to for you. You need double pointed needles to make this, and we are going to cast on 4 stitches onto our needle. And before you knit it, you slide the stitches all the way to the other side. And then you knit from that end right there. I like to pull on the yarn tail when I'm starting the I-cord to sort of help give it its shape. And continue until your I-cord is the length you desire. Mine is about 2 inches long here. Just tack it right on to the top of your pumpkin, and you can choose which side you want to be the top and the bottom of your pumpkin. Weave in your ends, cut off your yarn tail, and you are done. I hope you are inspired to knit up these beautiful velvet pumpkin softies. It is my new tradition for seasonal Halloween and Thanksgiving home decor here at Studio Knit. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Make sure to get that knitting pattern over on my website, and I will see you next time, guys. Bye.